Und doch hat man ja damals offenbar nicht gesehen, diese schweigende Mehrheit, also auf gut Deutsch die Kernwählerschaft von Trump, die sich nicht laut geäußert hat und die eben auch in diesen Meinungsforschungsinstituten nicht mit einbezogen war in den Umfragen. Das heißt, man hat einen Aspekt, nämlich die Bildung, irgendwie nicht mit einbezogen. Diesmal also wurde das alles anders gemacht. Das heißt, können wir uns verlassen auf all diese Umfragen?
Ja, wir haben probiert, das besser zu berichten, dass die Leute ohne Uni-Abschluss mehr Gewicht bezahlen, weil
So today is November 5th in Germany, and no lie, I'm a little bit upset. And probably right now, you can probably understand why. I'm headed to school, first day of lockdown 2.0. The streets are looking so bare and not sad, but kind of sad. I hope I'm supposed to be in class today, because if not, I'm gonna be upset the fact that I got up and I didn't even get to work out or anything, but I gotta go to school. So for the first thing I'm gonna probably bring up is the optics. The optics of America right now look horrible. They have for a while now. Now, I'm not gonna talk about independent candidates or what's really the issue with the politics and all that stuff going on, but I'm just talking about why it's so important, why right now is so important for the next couple of years. That's gonna deter everything. But recently, as an American that's basically a American expat, if you will, who no longer lives in America, I've seen the optics from America. I mean, since the first time 4 years ago when I moved to Australia, everybody asked me, how could America do this and vote this person in or whatever the case may be. But it's just seemed that ever since I've traveled the world and been to other countries, the way that they view America has continually declined. And I understand why. And we're not just talking about political stuff. You know, you don't have to live in the country to know how other people view you. If I were to use this as an example, the most popular kids that you had in school, all of your posts were awesome, all the places that you went to look amazing, but then after a while, all the stuff that you put up on your social media, all the things that people said about you, all the things that you've heard from others, they start to weigh in on the way that people think about you. Now, it might not even be true. You might still be an awesome person, but the way that people think about you, the way that their thought processes are when your name pops up, it matters. And especially in a huge forum like this. This is basically the leader of the free world. Now, I know for my interpretation, leaving America, going to other places and seeing how people think about us, it's important. And that's why, especially now at this critical time, it's so important that we have a good relationship with the rest of the world, that people see us in a good light. So right now we're headed to the other bike. We're gonna be trying to ride this thing. It doesn't have the, what's it called? It doesn't have the, it's not powered yet, or it doesn't have the, what is that thing called? It doesn't have the e-bike tire on it yet. It doesn't. I'm still waiting for the battery and the controller to come through, but I just wanted to ride it a little bit just so we can see if that's good, if it's okay to ride. So it's the first time I'm ever riding a fat bike right now, and these things ride very different. Number 2. Now, the second thing that I would probably bring up is the division of our nation. Now, for myself as an American, I've lived there for 20 something years before. And obviously every country is not gonna be perfect. Everybody's not gonna always get along and be able to chill with each other. And there's a lot of different things that we had to work on before, but now, I'm not saying it's one single cause, but now the entire world can see what the problem is. And the fact that we are making this election now and we're fighting each other, I don't understand it. I mean, right now, if I have these type of views and you're far left or you're far right or you're a liberal, then you're considered like a Nazi or you're considered the Antichrist or something. And that causes people to fight each other, like physical force, just because of what they believe in. Not even talking about all the other stuff that happened during this entire year, but to physically want to fight people because of the way and the politics that they believe in. This is the type of country that we're living in now. This is a first world country. One of the things that make humans human are the ability to have empathy and to see through each other. This is the only thing that disconnects us from animals. So if you want to fight and kill each other over politics and stuff like that for no apparent reason, where did this all stem from? And this is because our nation is divided in a way that's kind of never been for about 40 something years, I would personally say. I mean, the division in our country right now is absolutely crazy. And I really think, you know, there's one saying that we have in the Army. It's like when you have bad leadership, right? It starts from the top down. So if your leader is a bad leader, your entire organization is going to be crap. This goes also with saying in business. If you have a bad CEO that does bad business practices and he's constantly embezzling money and stuff like that, your whole organization is going to suck. Please tell me, you know, politics stuff aside, please tell me that you don't see this. People can't see this. It starts from the top and it trickles down. The reasoning for this is because when you see somebody really dumb doing dumb stuff and people are applauding them for dumb stuff, you feel like you can do dumb stuff too. I'm tired of dumb being the quota, being the norm, being the highest regard that we can see in a political office. That makes no sense. I don't even care what your politics are. Now it's like our equivalent, like our highest regard that we can have, just don't be dumb and stupid. That's horrible. Before the standards were so much higher, but now it's just don't be dumb. Come on, America, don't be dumb. And lastly, what I wanted to say, which is probably the biggest one to me, probably the most important in general, in totality, is really the relationship of America with the rest of the world. Now, right now is what I want to say is the relationship between America and Germany. Now, for me, living here, actually seeing some of the things going on, really just the way that a person carries themselves who was supposed to be dictating or supposed to be resembling the entire country, no matter what the politics are, no matter what people say, a person that is supposed to represent a unity of people and does it in a terrible manner with others is going to break the relationship with everybody else. Now, I only go to say this is because just doing some research, one of the questions that I used to be asked, or one of the thoughts that a lot of people had on my channel before, was why are there so many American bases in Germany? And being a veteran myself, I always kind of wonder that. And I did a little bit digging and research and stuff. But really, from the entire Geneva Convention itself, this was all formulated after the World Wars. Now, if you don't know about the history in the World Wars, for me, this history is what really made America great in the first place. If you go back and look, the only reason that there are so many American bases that are in so many different parts of the world is because of this treaty that was drafted to show that all the people that are allies of America, all of us that come together against the other forces that are bigger or greater than us by ourselves, France is not a big, huge country. Denmark is not a huge country. Canada doesn't have a military. All these countries that are allies with us, will we come together if we did have an opposing force? If they mess with one of us, they mess with all of us. And just looking into that history, I know a lot of people really don't know, and they'll probably say that Americans are bullies. I personally thought the same thing at the time too, and I think we kind of strayed away from that in the past, decades or so. But really, the foundation of that was, if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And that's when America became like the big brother. Not to say that we're the most powerful country in the world or anything, but to know that when one of us is getting messed with, the others will come and help. This goes for all the other countries. This is why every country that I've been to has been an ally of America, and I kind of felt that way. They all kind of had the same feelings towards Americans when we got there. I've always been greeted happily, and oh man, you're American, that's awesome. Always. I've never ever gone anywhere that was in any country that was an American, that was an ally of America, and been treated any differently or bad. But the one thing about it is going forward, you can kind of tell that certain people don't want to have allies with other people anymore. And it's really, if we break it down into terms that we can understand, if you have a friend and this friend is a really big guy, kind of like me. No, I'm just playing. But if you have a friend and this person is constantly sticking up for the little guys, sticking up for people that bully other people in school, sticking up for the person that can't really defend themselves. If you have a person that does that, in your eyes, I don't really care who you are, you're going to have a good impression of them. You're going to think good about them. They will probably stick up in your mind. When that person's name is spoken, you'll be like, man, that's a really good person. Whether it's a guy or a girl, that person there is good at heart. They mean good and they have good intentions. Some people might not like it. They might think, oh man, that person's full of themselves. Everybody's going to have their own interpretation. But the problem is, with certain people in office, you'll start breaking these treaties. You'll stop having all of these allies, and not even about the other people, because World War III is probably coming. That's another topic too. But just if it happened, if something were to happen, I think we've been very fortunate to not have super huge world wars in our lifetimes, for most people in these ages, lifetimes. But if that were to happen, if there were some real big threats going on and there were no allies that we could really rely on, that's where the problem exists. That's when it comes. And that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't matter how much money a country owes us. All that stuff, money is we can deal with that stuff later. In my personal opinion, I always owe people money. I always owe bills and stuff, but they'll get the money when I get it. You can't get the money before I have it. You'll get it when I get it. But the thing is, having allies, having people on your side, that speaks volumes, and I think that speaks for itself. And we all know the phrase, it's not what you know, but who you know. And in this case, it's like not what country that owes you money, but who's got your back when something real happens. So that's all I got for you guys today. I definitely appreciate you watching this video. I know as this comes out, we already have our president in mind, but I really feel this is also just to remind myself in years to come, it's not the things that we do today, but it's the way that we shape tomorrow, or something really inquisitive and insightful like that, because I want to sound really smart. That's all I got for you guys today. It's Chris with Soldier Life. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.